Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Your Seattle Mariners are alone in first place. Mookie and Verdugo get a little revenge. Felix, are you okay, Pop? Let's talk ball, Trev. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor. Code TALKIN. Go to a games. We've got some. We're almost in pseudo playoff season. Don't tell me that Snakes Red series didn't have playoff implications. It sure did. Twins Rangers. Go to SeatGeek. It's so easy to use it. Jake can use it. Green dots. Green means good. Red means bad. 70,000 events, concerts, sports, everything you want. They are the #1 ticketing app. And with Code Talkin', you'll get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Promo code Talkin'. Click the link in the description. Download the app. Trevor Plouffe. How are you, my man? How was the freakend?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk some ball. I feel like I got some stuff to say today. Okay. And a fun award. We're going Tolkien baseball at the end. So if you're into that, stay tuned. Good neighborhood weekend. We had some backyard stuff. Nameless Jeff, shout out. Happy birthday yesterday, big guy. Did a little sushi dinner for him. But, you know, that's not what this show was about, Jakey boy. No. It's about ball and ball players. I'm going to give my standout to a ball player today. And yeah, it's a pitcher that I call the ball player.
Wow.
How about that? Yeah, so we're making progress. Shout out El Segundo Little League, taking it home. LA, California, just representing for the whole country. And that's what I got. How you doing, Poppy?
Sports capital of the world. I'm good. Jess was away for some of this weekend, which, you know, that can be scary times for me. Went to a solo NYC dinner. Sat down at the bar. It's a nice little restaurant. There was another couple at the bar. They look over. They go, "Oh, John Boy Media." Had a nice chat with them. We talked ball. We talked Yanks. We talked a little Formula which I'm not very well versed in, but they were. So, but yeah, and then Saturday did nothing, which I needed that after my past couple weekends I've been away. I actually watched a lot of ball. Hopped around the league this weekend. Because it's getting real, Trev. I mean, you better have your takes on the Brewers. You better be worried about
Free baby.
Texas. Name your dog.
Hey, let me tell you something, man.
Yes.
So before we get into the ball, this is for everybody out there that's listening to this show. You need to go have a solo dinner from time to time.
Yes.
It's an excellent thing. Nobody's bothering you. Well, you got bothered because that's who you are.
Right.
You might have started it.
I didn't.
But okay, whatever. Normally, you just sit there.
Right.
No one's pecking at your food, asking to try some or take some. You can order whatever you want, and it's just a nice time to reflect on your thoughts. I would recommend it 10 out of 10. So if you're scared to do it, don't be scared.
It's a very, you could feel the dad coming out of you in that answer. Just Teddy digging at your plate. Liv, throw me a little bit of that.
Liv loves to eat my food.
I had a nice time. And I'm, Trev, I mean, we're almost like a month away from playoff ball. We got a lot of stuff to get decided. And let's just do it. Let's do some American League because it's Monday. And that's what we do on Mondays, right? Actually, let's burn it first, Beebs, and then I'll tell the fine people about LinkedIn. Trevor, we're starting out. This is what Dalton had numero uno on the sheet. It's your Minnesota Twins. They take 3 out of 4 from the Texas Rangers. The Rangers stopped their losing streak, but have they turned it around? I don't know, because you know what stings? 13 innings. 13 innings in that final game, and the Twins get it done 7-6. They blew him out in that second game. Sonny shut him out, and the offense put up big boy numbers. Matt Wallner, the Minnesota Moose, as you named him, is he starting? He might not start it. He'll finish it, Trev. That's a big boy. Man, the Texas Rangers are out of first place for the first time in a long time. And hey, the Twins, I guess they put a nice little feather in their cap. Interested to get some thoughts on this series. Ryan Jeffers, Mitch Garver, the old catching duo. Twins, Chapman, his closing numbers. We got a lot to talk about there. White Sox, A's, maybe not as much to talk about. The A's take the first 2 out of 4 games in this series. Shea Langeliers, Dan Canobio's guy. Your guy, Zack Gelof. He puts up a couple nice days at the office. Ryan Noda's back. He's putting together a really nice season. Pencil him in for next year. But these White Sox have always been resilient. And they come back. They win the next 2 games. Yoan Moncada, 4 for 4 on that final day. Mike Clevenger, 7 innings, 1 hit. I don't know. These are 2 bad teams, as they say in the biz. The Yankees played the Rays, and the Rays take 2 out of 3. The game the Rays lose, Garrett Cole, who's your favorite for AL Cy Young, puts up a 7.2, 11 Ks. The Rays, Tyler Glasnow holds them to 1 hit. Brandon Lau, 4 RBI in the final game. There's a little bit of beanball stuff here, and the Rays get the final F because they are the bigger men and they are the bigger team. They take 2 out of 3 down in Tampa. Yanks won't see them again until April of next year. Whoa, one of those, wow, their season's really actually over. Go Tampa, go. Guardians, this one's a sneaky one. Guardians take 2 out of 3 from the Jays. Jays are currently out of the wild card. They win that middle game. Ryu flinging up 66-mile-per-hour curveballs. Again on Pitch Ninja. Davis Schneider, man, this kid continues to hit. Where is he from? But know who hit for Cleveland? How about throwback corner outfielders? Ramon Laureano and Cole Calhoun actually got some run at first base in the final game for Swole Calhoun. And the Guardians get it done. That final game goes 11. Syndergaard starts and gets DFA'd. Yikes. Matt Chapman leaves with injury. Blue Jays, danger time. Danger time in Toronto. Astros take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. I'll say this, though. The game the Tigers won. Parker Meadows. How's your walk-off homer, first RBI? It's a pretty good way to do it. And Matt Manning, 6.1, 0 earnings in that one. So, hey, maybe the Tiger hype train is getting going for next year. But the Houston hype train goes for the rest of this year. They put up 9 and 17. Bregman, Altuve, Jordan, Abreu, Pena, Tucker, Dubon, Chaz, your guy. Everyone pads their stats. They take 2 out of 3. And then your Seattle Mariners. They sweep the Kansas City Royals, including a 15-2 blowout where Teoscar has a pair of homers. Raleigh, Ford, Rojas, they all go out. Logan Gilbert shuts them down. J.P. Crawford is back. Woo! They've got the good sauce in Seattle right now. Julio's going nuts, and Luis Castillo. If anyone catches Cole, it might be that guy. They sweep Kansas City. They are in first place, and that is what happened in your American League. Oh.
Nice, Poppy. Nice, Poppy.
Sometimes it's just different. The Baltimore Orioles.
Let me do the standings.
Please,
today.
Trev. Thank you.
I think I should take over standings.
I love it because I'm kind of gassed after all
yeah,
that.
I always snapping. I don't get to talk for like 5 minutes.
Oh.
I love to hear my own voice.
Good trade.
Yeah, and people are sick of you. They want to hear more of me. That's what everyone's saying.
I receive nothing. You receive the standings.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, do that the whole time too. Okay, perfect. In the American League East, which we thought was the best division, turns out it just stinks. Yankees are horrible. Baltimore in first place, 81 and 49. Tampa Bay Rays 2 games behind them, and then Toronto and Boston, 10.5 and 12.5 respectively. I won't even talk about the Yanks. It's a sore subject here. In the Central, my Twins, 68 and 63. They lead the division by 6 games over the Cleveland Guardians, who are 62 and 69. Beebs, nice. Tigers, 59 and 71. They're 8.5 back, but they've won some series lately, people, and there's some good young ball players on that team. White Sox, Kansas City Royals. Yikes, that's what Jake would say. In the American League West, the Mariners. Are you kidding me? I told people they were going to go. Gosh, 74 and 56. They take over first place from the Texas Rangers, who are 73 and 57, and Houston, 74 and 58. So in the standings, both one game back of Seattle. It's tight there. The Angels and Oakland, yikes, gross. In the wild card, Tampa Bay has the first spot. They're 6 games up on Texas and Houston, who are tied for the second and third spots. Behind them, 2.5 games out, Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, 4.5 games out. It could come down. Those teams could come back into it, Jake. But right now, it's that AL West looking proper.
Yeah, Toronto is becoming an interesting conversation. And another great standings, Trev. Those Trevor Plouffe standings were brought to you by LinkedIn. If you're looking for a new standing at your job, or maybe you're looking to bring in new people, LinkedIn is where you have to go. 100% certain you have access to the best qualified candidates. LinkedIn jobs, they've always been numero uno. And you guys are more than welcome to add me on LinkedIn. That's not part of this read, but I'd say twice a month I grow my network that way. You add your job, the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile. That spreads the word that you're hiring. That will basically bring the people to you, and everyone's on LinkedIn. And if you're not, what is you doing, baby? Small businesses rate LinkedIn jobs number 1 in delivering quality hires versus the leading competitors, and that's what you want. So if you're looking for those qualified candidates, go to linkedin.com/talking. That's linkedin.com/talking. Post your job for free. That's pretty good. Terms and conditions apply. Click the link in the description. Treviello, a tale of two cities here. The dominant Minnesota Twins versus the Texas Rangers. I will tap into you on this one. Texas has been floundering. They end their losing streak in that third game. Mad Max on the bump. Mitch Garver and Adolis hits an absolute nuke. Otherwise, it's all Twins, and man, oh man, that Texas locker room, the Texas dugout, the Texas flight out, like, knowing that you've lost first place, knowing that it's still, you're not out of this tailspin, man. I can't imagine the emotions going through that clubhouse right now.
It's definitely not a good feeling because they've been in first place like almost the entire year. And they surprised people, not really surprised, they surprised me a little bit, but have kept it going because they've just been good on all sides of the ball, essentially. And, I think they're just running into a little bit of a rut, and at the same time that Seattle is going nuclear. Nuts. So, this happens, this is 162. This is why we love baseball. Sometimes it's daunting. Sometimes we get sick of it. There's too much baseball, but it's like, this is why we do 162, because through that, we're going to have these ups and downs, and you're going to have to climb out of a valley, and then you're going to have to try to stay up top. And I think that's where we're at right here. It's a bad stretch of baseball for the Rangers. Doesn't mean they're a bad team. Again, Mariners are hot. Mix those two together and you get this, but not a great series for them. The Twins they needed this series big time. They got swept by Milwaukee. I think that was it a 2-game set, or I don't even know what it was. It was a 2-game set. And they hadn't been playing great baseball. Although I'll keep saying this because it's true, like Cleveland and everybody else in the Central just gifted them the division. They hadn't really been playing great, but this series was offensively good for them. They had some good pitching. They did the Bailey Ober, Dallas Keuchel stack, which was worked out.
That's
bad
two
pitch by
different
Ober.
looks, huh?
That's two different looks right there. Yeah, just a really good series for the Twins, bad series for the Rangers. But again, I just don't think that. I mean, this Rangers team is going to be there. Like their roster is too good. Max and Montgomery have been great. Like Max is, I mean, yeah, he stopped the winning streak. I think in all his starts in Texas, he's got like a 2.9. So they'll be okay. There's a big article out on the Athletic or in the Athletic. Who wrote it? I'm assuming Gleeman, your guy.
My guy.
Let's see. Yeah, it was Gleeman. And he's talking about the Twins and the rookies. And that really has been, we talk a lot about their starting pitching and how it was really good. The first half really good. It hasn't been as great second half. It's still very much serviceable. But these guys have changed everything. Eddie Julian, Matt Wallner, Royce Lewis. Royce has the big grand slam to answer, Jonah Himes. But these guys are they're essentially carrying the offense. What offense the Twins put out there, these guys are right in the thick of it. So, it's going to be an interesting month. I think the Twins are going to get into the playoffs and they're going to win the division. I think they're going to end up winning the division by 10 games. And I want to see what they do with this 6-man rotation they're trying to do. And yeah.
As I look at this, Texas, they're heading to the Mets and then they have a homestand. And, when your relievers are getting hit, I know Chapman, his numbers in save situations aren't as good as they are outside of it. And I like this. I don't know if you know more about this because I'm just reading about this from Dalton's notes, but Ryan Jeffers, for his pinch hit at bat, he was preparing in the cage for that at bat. And then he hits the 2-run homer, which that changes game 1 of this series. That changes the whole tone of the series, right?
He's a stud. Love him. And yeah, most teams have this machine. It's a pitching machine. You can dial up. You just input the numbers, what you want. Spin rate, velocity, spin efficiency. I don't know what everything they do, but you can mimic pitches.
You can put in Will Smith's slider and be like, okay.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was out there earlier in the year. They were doing Corbin Burns cutter, and I was like, why would the fuck would you ever want to see that thing more than you have to? But then Kyle Farmer used the machine and hit a home run off on that day. So it does work. And Jeffers has been pinch hitting. There's a stat. I don't know. I don't think it's on our sheet, but I saw it when I was watching the game. He's a great pinch hitter.
I like that.
Not a ton of at bats, 20-something at bats, but I think he's like 9 for 20 or something like that.
Okay.
Stud. Yeah. That was, he had the bat flip and got the boys going. Yeah, you're right. It did change the momentum of the series.
Royce Lewis is back too, huh? Twins gonna get it going a little bit? Twins gonna get you excited?
I'm not excited right now just because, like I said, they're gonna win this division by 10 games, and I'm curious to see how they start setting up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what they're going to do with all these pitchers. I want to see, how they try to stack the rotation to get ready for the postseason. I want to see what relievers they go to in the high leverage situations. Maybe you're testing this guy out, that guy out. Rocco brought in Duran in the 8th inning in the game this series because he's like, that was the top of their lineup.
Right.
And then Griffin Jack's behind him. So I think it's going to be a month of like, all right, we're fine-tuning.
Next on the sheet is A's White Sox. I hit it on the way through. Zack Gelof, you want to say his name?
Gelof, like sell off. He's a stud.
He's a stud. We'll see both next year. Yankees Rays. Trev, I mentioned, they win the Cole game. He's dominant. DJ LeMahieu has 2 homers in that game. Otherwise, offense is shut down in the second game. Only DJ LeMahieu has hits in that game. 2 hits. That's it for the Yankees. And then the final day, we get a little back and forth. Yankees go down 2-0. Rays come back. Our Yanks come back, and then the Rays come back again. And, yeah, there's some beanball. We have the dugouts clear twice, and Brandon Lau hits the nail on the head after the game where he's like, man, we're still playing for something. We're still trying to track down the Orioles in the division. We're in the wild card, and this team is not in it. I think the number was the Yankees have hit 12 Rays batters this year, and the Rays have hit 2.
4 yesterday.
So, yeah, I'd be pissed off, too. And I think there's even an exchange at home plate. It's Boone and Cash, and I think Boone's like, kind of like,
what was that about?
I think it's Boone saying, like, if I was you guys, I'd be kind of mad, too. Like,
didn't they, like, shake hands and, like...
It's...
The not real lip read that I did in real time was, I think he just keeps saying, I understand.
It's true. One team, it's why when... people were wondering why we weren't tougher on Boone in our interviews. It's like, the fight's over. You've won the war. Like, we're not going to, no need to really beat the dead horse. Yankees have won one.
I don't like that saying.
Yankees have won one series since July 1st.
Yeah. They beat the A's in June, and then.
It's almost September.
Just the Royals.
Yeah, it's tough, guys.
It's bad.
I follow
Split
too many Yankee people on Twitter.
Right?
Yeah, I've seen all the stats. Yankees are just they're out of it. They're done. It's over. You guys waved the white flag. I did see LeMahieu's been getting hot, so that's good for you guys. A little late on that, but you want to see it because he's still there for quite some time, a couple more years, right?
Yeah, I mean. We're going to have a lot of time to talk offseason Yankees, but DJ has looked like the good DJ LeMahieu from a couple years ago that Yankee fans as of a few weeks ago didn't know if they could pencil him in for anything next year, and it looks like he'll at least be in a utility role and serviceable. So I don't know, as we all try to come up with our 2024 Yankees game plan, like DJ will be a part of it, and that's the kind of wins Yankee fans are looking for right now.
On the flip side, the Rays are 8-1 over their past 9 series. They had that bad run where they went 5-15. Now they're back doing it, looking like the Rays. They're also tinkering, getting ready for the playoffs, finding out what works, what doesn't work. No updates on the whole Wander thing.
I haven't seen anything.
Haven't heard anything. The Rays don't. In typical Rays fashion, obviously, they give a shit, but they're marching on. They're going and playing ball.
And hey, I know Rosie's going to be talking with you on baseball today a little bit, and our O's aren't till Kelsey Wingert's rocks in the IL, but man, 2-game lead. Like, we're doing a lot right now of like Texas Rangers. Whoa, how crazy is this? How dominant. Orioles are in a similar boat. I mean, there was Rays. The Rays were the story very early on, but they are within striking distance, and I'm interested to see what kind of impact missing Felix is going to do to that team because, that team is also really good through 8 innings. That's how they get the ball to Felix, but I don't know. That is one of their dominant things they have that's now gone. Yeah. So Rays are kind of in hunt mode, and they are right there. And to not be in a wild card, that's huge.
Yeah.
Phew.
18 of their last 26 after going 5-15. So they're going. And I love that Bilal said that.
And dude, Randy,
that just shuts everybody up. Like, hey, we're actually still playing for something. They're just trying to fire up themselves.
And Trev, if you wake up low T one morning, which I know that's never happened to you, but Randy Arozarena gets hit with a pitch. He's pissed. Everyone clears. His dugout comes out. It's always been baseball's best way to get redemption. Steals second, steals third. Not even close. And it's like, well, okay. You guys stink. You just gave up a free triple. Go Tampa, go. Now, on the other side of all of this, Trevor, and Foolish Bailey on Wake and Jake kind of brought this to my attention, and we are hitting not a tipping point, but a whoa. The Toronto Blue Jays are currently 2.5 out of the playoffs, not the division. They're 2.5 out of the playoffs. And if you like yourself some Toronto Blue Jay baseball and like, oh, they're going to make the dance, right? Well, then you don't believe in either the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros, the two teams ahead of them. They dropped 2 out of 3 from the Guardians, and we're kind of hitting the point in the season where you can't do that. I don't know, Trev. What's going on? Your guy, Matty Chapman, leaves the last game with an injury.
Bo Bichette also left the game the last game.
Davis Schneider's putting the team on his back when they need it. I don't know. They win the middle game, but they lose, and it's, some of the guys Cleveland's putting out there. Cole Calhoun, Ramon Laureano. There's a lot of baseball fans that probably don't know those two dudes are on that team.
Who's that?
Laureano and Cole Calhoun.
Oh, for the Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Guardians are playing some brand of baseball. Gosh, that'd be something if they gave the Twins a run for the Central. They won't, though. Very confident in that. I ask this question almost every single. To me, Toronto and the Padres are like the same thing. I don't understand. The Padres are on a way different level. I'm almost ready to declare the Padres dead. I think everyone probably has. I might be late to the party on that. I'm not giving up on Toronto. I love the roster too much. I mean, you lose the last game in 11. So you could have won this series, then we're talking a whole different thing here. I understand what you're saying about the standings, Jakey boy, when you're talking about they're looking up at two really, really good teams. I just can't imagine the playoffs without them, to be honest with you. I haven't even thought of the playoffs without them, but I guess that dang foolish Bailey brings up a good point. I mean, one of those 3 teams, or the Mariners, is not going to make the playoffs. Toronto, Houston, Texas, Seattle. If you were to rank those teams without looking at the records and stuff, what would you do? Toronto, Houston, Texas, Seattle. Who's at the top for you? Houston? You're scared of Houston so much.
No, this is such mental gymnastics. I'm letting recency get in there, but I would put Seattle as my one. Me, BBD, and Joe's, we did a playoff team wins draft, which I think we did on Talking Baseball last year.
Yeah, that was you, Jerry, and Moylan episode,
wow.
I think.
Wow. Replay that one. I took the Seattle Mariners, and they were still behind Texas and I think Houston at the time. I like their schedule, and I said it coming into the season, and I even think some Astro fans during the midway point when, Seattle was still 500, I think my quote was like, if there's a team that can compete with Houston, I think it's Seattle, because they've seen what they've done over these past few years, and they have a young core, and they made that Castillo move, which was really their like nuclear. And that was after Robbie Ray, who's not even a part of this, right? Like, I would take Seattle 1. I would take Toronto last, and I have no clue what to do with Houston and Texas. Because I obviously respect what Houston's been on. I think Texas has been the better team this year. But, like, how far are the wheels off? I don't know, man.
You know what Toronto's record is against the AL East? I just did math.
I know it's pretty bad.
12-25. There's your explanation right there. Yeah. This is a good baseball team, but they didn't take care of business against their own division. They got whooped. 12-25. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule and the results and everything. They had one bad month in May. They went 11-17. Other than that, they've been above 500, 17-10 in April, 16-11 in June, 14-10 in July. They're 500 right now in August. But against the AL East, you're 12-25. That's tough. And why?
I don't know. All of their stats have them top 10 offensively, top 10 starting, top 10 relieving. I guess their offense, let me take a step back a little bit. They're 17th in runs, man. I mean, this is supposed to be Toronto. This is supposed to be a top of the lineup that you don't get through. the year they've gotten from Whit Merrifield. I mean, what Davis Schneider has been doing recently. I don't know. I think if they... Well, how about this? We said this with Seattle to give us a little bit of credit, and more so you than me. But if Seattle had to go, Julio had to start being special, and he has.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of other guys around him are. Vladito. How much? We haven't talked about him a ton this year. He had an absolute nuke in this series off Syndergaard.
Who got designated?
If Vladdy gives me an MVP September, I can start talking myself about some Jays, but I need to see that.
His numbers aren't even that bad,
No,
though,
they're
Jay.
very good, but like he's also supposed to be cream of the crop.
It is interesting. Looking at his overall season, he's got 20 and 76 right now. Like, this guy's supposed to be a run producer. That's so I look at the counting numbers, people. So shoot me.
Shoot him.
Okay. 20 and 76, has a big September, like you're saying.
I want to
get to 30. You can get to 30 and 100 with a good September.
I want to stop you a little bit because we're predicting or wanting a big September. Trev, 784 OPS from Vlad. He's not supposed to be there. He's a career 846.
I know.
He's 24 years old. Vladdy's got to go.
Slugs down a little bit. OBP is down a little bit. I wonder if the BABIP is saying something and we are going to see a massive September.
I want someone to hang around because I don't want the AL wildcard to end. And Blue Jay, it's 2.5. By Friday, a couple things bounce your way. You're in the wildcard. So I'm not saying it's over, but like, it's getting careful to slip up season. Like, you can't. The Guardians, and now they're playing the Nats, who the Nats have been one of the 5 best teams since the All-Star break. Thank you, Nats fans, for straightening us out. That's why you guys know your team better than us. Trev raises his paw.
So Vladdy, I know he's got the career 846. It's buoyed by the 1 dot year in 21. Every other year is right around 800. So, like, I don't know if it's fair to expect one dot did not or a 9 OPS out of this guy. He's done it once.
I guess
right.
No, it's an interesting point. I guess the only counter I would have to that is he's 24. Like, you know, he did.
Expecting to still be ticking up.
You'd assume he'd still be seeing more pitches and getting better and all that stuff. And comparing it to last year where he had an 818 OPS, offense was down across the league. So he had a 133 OPS plus last year. So right now he's at 116. So
yeah, but you know, 2000. I mean, I know he's young and it's all different. I'm just saying, like, relative, like his numbers are more of what they are this year than they are. I'm not going to call it an outlier year, but the year that he went bonkers, his numbers are more of what they are now than that.
I guess it's going to be
But you're right. He's 24. What?
And the BABIP is kind of in line with the career.
Is it?
With the each year, yeah. 284 BABIP this year. He's 297 for his career.
I like what we've landed on because either way, this Blue Jays team that has painted a picture for themselves and, you know, should be in the... If the Blue Jays were a 78-win team right now, we'd be like, damn, like this team, this could be a World Series team. Right now, they're 2.5 out of the playoffs. This young core's been together for a little bit now. This is a big month for Vladdy because everything you just said was right, Trev. Like, if Vladdy just stays at these numbers for the rest of September, like, those numbers are more in line than what would turn into an outlier year. So, whoa. September, Vladdy.
What did you call it earlier? It's the playoff month. I don't know what you were saying.
There's
but
like
yeah, with the added wild card. Because think about that. Like we just added this thing in. What was it, last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Last year, I think.
Last year was the first year of this.
Last year was the first year.
Yeah.
So, and COVID, yeah. So, dude, like do you like that there's so many teams still in these races? Like, do you think it's good for baseball? That's the talk about, you know, adding a team.
I've said this before. I'm a fan. Like, if you compared the 2 wild cards right now, well, my Snakes are fucking hot. I kind of do like it. I don't like it for the playoffs. Like I have that baseball traditionalist in me. Like, give me kind of the 4 best teams, division winners, 1 wild card, roll it out, give me longer playoff series. That makes more sense for a 162 season. For the regular season, so we're adding more entertainment to the regular season, and we've told people on the show before, the owners just want more playoff games because that's revenue. Like, it kind of works. I think we're getting further away from a best true champion, but I do think the Toronto Blue Jays are a good baseball team, and right now they're not at the dance. And I was going to counter and say in the NL, like the NL's a little sloppier, but not if the Snakes, the Snakes are 69 and 62 right now. They're the last wild card team. Like, whether it's them or the Reds or San Francisco, they are going to have to earn their way in. So I'm enjoying this season. I'm glad we currently don't have the one team we're looking at like, oh.
Yeah, that's the thing is you just don't want a 500 team or a sub 500 team to get in, which happened in 2020. Who was it? Was the Astros?
Astros.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally half the league, right? It was
like the Marlins.
Yeah. Ultimately, still, second year of this format. It takes a few years for us to probably really get conclusions on, like, do we like this? Or some years we're going to get a bad team. This year it seems like we're not, so that's good.
Baseball Reference is trying to be the bad guy.
Oh.
They put the skull and crossbones on the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
I saw
That's tough.
Saw that on ESPN. Not the skull and crossbones, but
they are eliminated from the playoffs. Tough.
I guess they can start just tanking now.
Just a real shot. You get the skull and crossbones. You're dead.
Tough. They'd like
they won't.
that.
Hey, Baseball Reference, you won't put it next to the Padres.
Ooh, yikes!
Their elimination, like Royals have a magic number of 4. Colorado has a magic number of 2. The Padres have a magic number of 13. That's going to happen like in any day, like this week.
Could happen quick, man. Let's finish off the AL. We have the two other good AL West teams. Houston takes 2 out of 3 from Detroit. I mentioned the Detroit walk-off, pretty cool for Parker Meadows. That's a good Southern baseball name, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Actually, he might be a
sure.
Cali boy. I think I looked that up.
Oh, let's look it up.
Sounds like a kid that would be on your little
Dude, there's a lot
team.
of tough names out there these days.
Oh, you should. Jimmy was losing his mind reading
Atlanta. Totally makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the Little League kid names, Jim was losing his mind over it. Everyone's got to be different. The other 2 games, Houston offense puts up big boy numbers. Yeah, a little bit good team, bad team. I think your award is coming from this.
Yeah, we can go quickly through it. Yeah, there's a pretty special moment that happened during this game. We'll talk about it later, or during the series, excuse me. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, I would say good team, bad team.
And then Royals, Mariners. I mean, for me, it comes down to, Mariners win those first 2 games. J.P. Crawford is back. And yeah, just a reminder, Seattle was 47-48 on July 20th and have gone on a 25-8 run since then. Kansas City, again, if you want to go look at the standings and where they're at, I mean, yikes. And then they hold on to win that last game, and it's just like they're entering rare air with how hot they are right now. And I mean, I think their schedule's still like they have Oakland next.
Yeah.
So, whoa.
We talked about the schedule, and we knew that they were going to have a chance to go on some sort of run like this. But then you pair that with Teoscar getting hot. I mean, you got the starting pitchers. They've been doing it. Gilbert's won his, I think, 6th straight decision. Luis Castillo's been freaking disgusting. This team is they're a very good baseball team. And I saw some reports that Kelnick is going to start a rehab assignment. I would love nothing more than for that guy to come back and be a part of, the end of September into the playoffs. That shit was sad, bro.
Yeah.
when he was talking about it and just how dumb he felt and how he let down his teammates. That was raw, real emotion, and I hopefully he can work his way back and contribute again, because that's what it's all about, man. He was doing so well too.
There's a Mariner I'm talking about in a little bit, so I think we can keep it moving.
What are you talking about?
You'll see. He's one of my favorites.
I know you're talking about.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Julio hit a bomb. Everything is. It's hot in Seattle right now.
And I think in Mariners fans, I know you'll let me know. I think we celebrated it the other day. I think Cal Raleigh was the second fastest Mariner to 50 home runs or something like that. And it was like Griffey and Cal. And we were like, oh, that's sick. That's sick. I think Julio just took first. So Cal just fell to 3, which is that's just good fun.
This is the stat here for the Mariners. It's the latest the Mariners have had sole possession of first in a season since 2003. That's not real.
Crazy, man. Whew. Like they had that good 2001 team, and then things have really been not great.
20 years basically to the day is August 24th, 2003.
And like
That's nuts.
How much that city's changed in 20 years? Like, man, I'm excited for the Mariners, man. I don't know. There's something brewing, and it feels like, God, are them and the Astros gonna line each other up for like?
I would love to see that series again. I would love to see that series.
Oberon Tyrell versus the Mountain type battle. You know what I'm saying? I tell you what,
11 of 12, 19 of 23, 21 of their last 26.
I struggle finding things I love in this world. I love baseball. I love people.
Dogs.
But like, I love dogs. Like golf. Dude, I fucking love Game of Thrones, man. I started talking about it this weekend, and I got like sweaty, intense, and hot.
Did you start watching some?
I think I'm gonna rewatch it. I've been dancing around it for so long.
That's a lot of time.
I should save it for the offseason.
Offseason, we should rewatch.
Do you want to watch? We'll do some watching.
Let's do a Thrones rewatch in the offseason.
Late night.
And something else, Trev. I'm not afraid to announce this to the people. As I've gotten older, I've seen a couple pics of myself. Actually, there was one time in the warehouse that behind the scenes Bill was zooming in on my hair because it looked like it was thinning. And at a certain point, you got to stop being proud. And I have, because I want to keep it. You know, I'm already short. I'm already stocky. If I lose what's up top, I mean, that's it. No more of me being a sex symbol. And Nutrafol, you don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. Whole body health approach for men that promotes healthier hair. No drugs, no compromises, just better hair. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. That's important. So, take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair for a limited time only. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter promo code TALKBASE. That's what we're doing here. Talk base every day. So that's Nutrafol, Nutrafol.com/men. Enter promo code TALKBASE, and you get $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping. Click the link in the description. Fellas. Oh, Trev, you've got your hand raised. You go.
Currently, I am using Nutrafol, shampoo and conditioner, and it's great. Just regular old shampoo, but the fact that it's going to like keep these locks that I have is big, because I went to dinner last night. I don't mean to blow up everyone's spot that I went to dinner with.
No.
I don't really know all these people that well. There's a lot of bald people.
Yeah.
Some tough hairlines.
And I was thinking, man, like I got to be proactive about this. And that's what Nutrafol has done. And the shampoo bottles, it's like a twist top. So you just squirt it out the top and twist it back. You don't have to open the flap up, which I am all about, bro. The flaps break all the time. My kids don't close them. You don't have the problem with Nutrafol. Great bottle to go along with the great product.
Let's do some NL. Nutrafol, NL. I mentioned some pseudo playoff baseball, Trev, and I mentioned it with the Diamondbacks and the Cincinnati Reds battling for that last wild card spot, and we play for rings in the desert. The Diamondbacks take 3 out of 4. Merrill Kelly, 7 innings, 1 hit, 12 Ks. He's a dude, man, and so is Corbin Carroll, who homers in that first game. Nick Martini is back and balling out for the Reds. He has a couple big days at the office. That helps the Reds win in 11. Then so does a balk. Some funny business going on there. We had Spencer Steer had a home run robbery that was robbed by a fan. Kind of an all-time highlight. What matters, though, in the standings, that last game, the Snakes get it done again. More Tommy Pham, more Corbin Carroll. Snakes rotation gives them some big innings in this one. They take 3 out of 4. The inside the park home run where Corbin Carroll gets thrown out by Ellie De La Cruz. My goodness, a lot of talent on display there. Speaking of, the Chicago Cubs, they take 3 out of 4 from the Pittsburgh Pirates. They win that first game in extras in 10. Pirates, a little pitchers duel. Mitch Keller has put together a heck of a season. He outduels Hendricks. And then we've got the debut by Wicks that's breaking Cubs records. And then your boy Javier Assad. Watch out. Baseball savant. Him and Bryce Elder not loved there, but they're loved on the field. Cubbies, man. Cody Bellinger, every time you see him, 5 RBI game. What? Cubs are rolling, man. That middle infield defense from Horner and Dansby, they be hitting too. God, Cubbies are a problem. But the number one problem in the NL is still your Atlanta Braves. Because Spencer Strider, we're almost bored of him because he throws up another 7 innings, 9 Ks, 1 earned run. Feels like every start. Maximus Fried in Game 2, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. This is all while Matt Olson is dating my daughter and having 2 RBI games. In that final game, though, Sunday Night Baseball, the Giants, man, they do play a fun brand. Your guy Casey Schmidt runs into one, made a couple nice plays on defense, too. Patrick Bailey getting interviewed on SportsCenter after the game. And you know I like watching Camilo Doval throw a baseball.
That's your guy.
It just looks entirely different. It looks entirely different. I would love to measure my wingspan against his. They salvaged the last game, and Trev, the San Diego Padres are dead. The Milwaukee Brewers sweep them 7-3, 5-4, 10-6. Brandon Woodruff, Rowdy Tellez, and Willie Adames. Those are the guys they kind of need to go. And the Padres are just looking around. Manny Machado, him and Gary Homer in that first game. Doesn't matter. Gary Homer's in the last game. Soto Homer's in the second. It's all the names, but they just never win, man. I don't know. They have the same record as the Washington Nationals. Do what you want with that. Phillies, they sweep the Cardinals. Good team versus bad team a little bit. 7-2, 12-1, 3-0. Jeez. St. Louis fans, I am so sorry. But good for Nola, Schwarber, Harper. Yeah, I love Bryson Stott. I want that out there. Casually on his way to a 5-WAR season. How many guys on their team do you mention before him? And the Nationals take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. Marlins, come on now. You made it this far, but did they run into a better team? The Nationals have been playing awesome baseball. Jonah Doan, 6 shut piece. Sure, pump it into my veins. Marlins, they salvaged the last game, a 2-1 win. Soler with both RBIs in that one. Shags opening. I know you like that, Trev. And that is what happened in your National League. I don't know.
Nice.
Feel like I got a perfect game going. Trev, can you give me the standings?
Oh, I forgot I was doing that, Poppy. I'm in.
And
In the National League. Thanks for reminding me.
Little behind the scenes there. My laptop did shut down right before
Boom.
I was reading it, so I had to bring it up on my phone. So that's, I don't know, man.
Just throw that laptop on the floor and stomp on it with your foot.
That emoji.
In the National League, how about we start out in the East? That's where we always start out on Mondays. Atlanta, 84-45. Sheesh. They got 12.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 72-58. Miami, 1 game over 500, 66-65. Nationals, yeah, they're playing better ball. 5th best record since the All-Star break or something like that. Way to go. I like that. I do, man.
Yeah.
Kids are playing. 61-70. They're 1 game above the Mets, who are 60-71. In the Central, the Brew Crew, who just killed the Fathers. There's a lot of dark jokes to be made there. The Brewers killed the Fathers. Okay. 73-57. They got a 4-game lead over the Chicago Cubs, who are 69, nice, and 61. 68-64 are the Reds. 58-73, 56-75 Pirates and the Cardinals. They are going to be eliminated soon. In the West, the Dodgers running things, 80-49. They're 12 games up on Jake Snakes, who are 69-62, 67-63 for the Giants, and then the aforementioned Fathers, who are dead, 61-70, and Kelsey Wingert's Rockies, 49-81. They have 2 more games to be eliminated. That's going to be fun when they have the skull and crossbones. I just love that so much. In the wild card, Philly got that 1 seed wild card. They're 3.5 games up on the Cubs, who have a half-game lead on the Diamondbacks, who have the last wild card spot. Chasing them is the Giants. They're sitting 1.5 back. The Reds are 1.5 back. And I'll include Miami there, too. Even though they're 1 game over 500, they're only 3 games back of the final wild card spot. And that's the standings in the National League.
Thank you, Trevor. And we, first game on the docket. I mentioned Snakes Reds a few times now. Snakes are 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a little bit of a heater since Poppy Gordo visited. Whoops. And yeah, kind of like what we were dancing around before. The Snakes still have a -3 run differential. You'd really love if that final team has a big September and runs away with it. And let's be honest, with how many teams are in the mix, you're probably going to have to get the last wildcard spot. So, and the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Snakes, all 7-3 or better in their last 10. So those final teams getting in, like the Brewers, who are on an 8-game winner, thank God they are. Otherwise, the Cubs would be making ground on them, but they're not. So anyways, that was a little standing stance. Reds, Snakes, Trev. Like I mentioned, Diamondbacks, we've talked about their starting pitching a lot. They get really good efforts all 4 games, or good enough efforts, I should say. And then there's sneaky just a lot of talent all over the field, man. And that I mentioned that relay play. I could watch that on replay. Yeah. Corbin Carroll out to center. We
watched that at dinner last night.
As fast of a runner as we have in baseball, and as strong of an infield arm as we've ever seen in baseball. And he gets him at the plate. That was sick.
An incredible play. You're talking about just skill sets? Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's top versus top right there. And actually, the D-backs, they could have swept this whole dang series, a 4-gamer. Seawald gave it up in that 3rd game. How are his Beebs, check his overall numbers for us since he went to Arizona. I feel like they're not.
Feel like they're using him a lot, huh? We're talking about him a lot.
He gets into every game. It's a 4.66 ERA in 11 games, 9.2 innings, 7 saves.
All right. He's getting the saves. I've seen a few blown. I think he's probably a couple blown. 7 saves. Okay. Our guy, what game was it that I think it was the second game where Benson hit the grand slam to make it look close. It wasn't close until that. Was that the game?
Let me double check. I think
While you're double checking, Seawald has only given up runs in 2 of these games as a D-back, and looks like no inherited runners have been part of the equation.
Wow. Yeah, Seawald's game log looks a lot prettier than.
It's just been
interesting. I guess you just noticed the bad ones.
Times.
Life of a reliever.
Both times he got.
Yeah, Will Benson is that that second game with the grand slam.
The D-backs just took it to him, man. You're right. There is a lot of talent all over the field. Ketel Marte doing his thing. You mentioned the good starting pitching performances they got. Merrill Kelly exited the game. Is he okay? Is there any updates on him?
We can look that up.
7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 12 freaking Ks, bro. But yeah, then he had to come out injured, so hopefully he's all right. But yeah, they looked good. I'm not gonna say that you went out and saved their season. I'm not gonna say that. But they've been playing really good ball since them. And for the Reds, I mean, you're lucky to salvage 1 game, really.
Reds 9-15 in August. 9-15 in August. That's a team that didn't make the splashy move around the deadline. They just kind of let the kids run out there, and I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the season has in store for them, but if it does continue to fade, people will look at that and I don't know who is well, this is a very different comparison, but I know Mets fans were very frustrated obviously with this year, but if you remember last year's deadline, the Mets didn't make the big move, and Mets fans this year were saying like, damn, I guess if you have a window, you really should go for it. And hey, the Reds, they should not compromise their future. There's so much young talent, but
there's so much young talent.
They had a lot of momentum, and now that's kind of gone. So, hey, maybe they go nuts in September, but
when you have that much young talent, it's kind of what it's for.
That's the other side of the argument.
You don't know what these guys are all going to be in their careers.
Right.
Like, and I know you don't want to trade away someone and he becomes Fernando Tatis Jr. I understand that. But you need to strike when the iron's hot. You don't know when the iron's going to be hot again. The iron could be ice cold next year. Yeah, I mean, I know it's hindsight to say that because they've had a tough August, but I mean, we were kind of talking about it.
This team was the Mariners for a little bit. They were hot.
Look what happened when the Mariners, that you mentioned the Luis Castillo trade, and I think that really has changed the direction of their franchise big time. Being able to trade for him and then sign him long term has just really given them that added just. They already had starting pitching, young guys coming up, but then you add this guy into the equation who's a bona fide, just an ace, and it's changed everything. And like. Sometimes you got to pull the trigger, man.
Yeah. Go Snakes, go.
Tommy Pham has been really good for the Snakes too, huh?
Yeah, he. I think the overall numbers aren't crazy impressive with the Dimebacks. 250, 737 OPS, but he had a 15-game hit streak going, I believe. So, like, you're contributing every night.
A bunch of big hits.
Yeah. And yeah, if you haven't seen that home run play I referenced, well, you should look at Corbin Carroll going for the inside the park homer. And, Pham, a little Jeffrey Mayer situation. It's really interesting because the Steer's glove is over the wall, and him and the Pham both with black gloves, like they both go in together, and the kid comes out with the ball. They call it fan interference, but they were chanting MVP for the kid, and like it was quite the scene. And I don't know, little teaser. It gets discussed in the Weekly Dumb.
You imagine the umpire being like, I have to tell Tommy Pham that I'm taking his homer away. Can you do it? I don't want to do that.
Not me. Yeah. Not me. Trev, a little bit of a different tale. I think good team, bad team. But Cubs, they win another 3 out of 4. It's crazy that they're not gaining on Milwaukee because they've been really good. And a lot of their formula ends up coming through here. I mean, we get Justin Steele with another good start, and that's obvious. Ian Happ in his hometown city, Pop. Are you kidding me? And then I guess the thing that wasn't a part of their formula, Cody Bellinger 5 RBI game, Seiya Suzuki 3 RBI game. They call up a kid, Jordan Wicks, who has, by some metrics, one of the better debuts by a Cubs starter ever. 5 innings pitched, 9 Ks.
A great series for them, and it was a lot of the usual suspects. You mentioned Wicks coming up and doing his thing, so that's nice for them. I'm going to talk about another guy in the rotation in standout, but when you watch, I was watching back some of these games. It's Belly's just doing it, man, and Candelario, him going over there has been so big. Belly is getting the barrel of the bat on pitches he shouldn't be getting the barrel on. He had I think it was a double on a pitch that was almost in the right-hander's batter's box on the floor, and he got to it. He got the barrel to it. It's been very impressive. Seiya Suzuki's going off right now. You remember he got like some playing time stolen from him.
Right.
Wasn't happy about it. He's doing really well now. Nico Horner, go check out the year he's had. I think he's got 30 swipes already. Big time WAR year for him. Those guys are benefiting so much from the rule changes, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we could look up the equation for WAR. I'm on Baseball Reference for B-WAR. Stolen bases are huge because I know Nico Horner can play some defense for sure, but the swipes are what's causing him right now. What does he got? I had it up. He's second on the team, I believe, to Belly. Yeah, in WAR. Belly's 4.2. Nico Horner's got a 4.1. 4 WAR seasons, people. They don't just grow on trees.
No.
And fans be doing it.
Can I give
and everybody. The Cubs I like the Cubs.
Trev, sometimes we're a little old school, right? There's this stat that we dig up sometimes. It's called runs.
Yeah.
Where do you think the Cubs rank in all of baseball?
Overall?
All of baseball. There's a lot of good offenses out there.
You tickle my feather a little bit there. Does that make any sense? But I just said no. 7.
The Chicago Cubs are 5th in runs scored.
Oh.
And you look at that lineup, man.
They did just have 2 10-run games back to back.
Sure. Good. Man, they are an interesting team. They are an interesting team.
Did you say that Mike well, now I miss it. Mark Leiter Jr. is your favorite relief pitcher in the game?
I liked that he complimented Javier
Don't
Assad.
say it.
Oh. Trev, you know what would be nice? I want to paint one more picture for you, and it's not even really a part of this series, but you know what's probably pretty cool?
What's up?
Hidden free agency at 28 years old, coming off of like a 5 WAR season, having an MVP in the bag, having 22 career WAR, being really good defensively at multiple positions.
Chicks still talk about this guy in LA, and I don't get it. I don't think he's that hot.
I think Cody's a pretty good-looking cat.
He's tall.
That'd be rich.
Yeah, he's all right. He's a good-looking kid. Shoot.
He's Trev, he's about to get a bag.
Yeah. What do you think that is? Because you just mentioned all the things. He's 28 years old. Coming off a great year, had a few down years that now he really could just look back and tell people, hey, I was hurt.
I mean, if he finishes off this season like he's been, he gets more of a bag than Nimmo, right?
I think so, right?
What was Nimmo's bag? 1 something?
He got 162. I think he and Rodon got the same contract.
How many years?
Cody's got an MVP in the bag and is putting up another 9 OPS season. I mean,
Nimmo got 162. They stretched it a little bit, and he's 30 in year 1 of it. Cody's younger.
He's getting 200, isn't he?
Cody's gonna have a pretty nice basement.
He's in a favorable market to him as well. Free agent.
Do you think he gets 200? 25 a year.
It's on the board if he finishes with these same stats. Yeah.
8 years. That's a long time. I
Long
wonder if he
time.
goes like
Defends
6
a lot
years,
of positions.
150, something like that.
I mean, if I had told you that when he was the 22-year-old MVP, I don't think you would have been shocked. 23-year-old MVP, you know?
Said sounds light.
So that's going to be an interesting one this offseason. Trev, one really good team, one solid team, Braves, Giants. I know you were tuned into this. I watched last night's game. Gabe, hot. It's funny. It's fun seeing the Giants' party tricks. Casey Schmidt made a really nice play at third. Tyro Estrada dropped down a beauty of a sack bunt that turned into a bunt base hit to score a run. Besides last night, it was all Braves. So I don't whatever you have.
What'd you call the Giants? An okay team? A solid team?
A solid team.
Okay, they have been playing well as of late, but I think they're still a good team. Yeah, there was some interesting plays. There was the 3-1 or 3-4, 3-1-4-2 double play they turned. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
like that in the series. You're right. Strider with a great start. Logan Webb kind of gets touched up a little bit. I think this is he faced the Braves back to back. The teams have just played each other in Atlanta. I always love watching how guys go when they were facing the same team in back-to-back starts. Didn't work out for Webb at this point, or at this start. 5 1/3 with the 5 Ernies. Michael Harris doing his thing, and that dang guy. Whenever you say Matt Olson date my daughter, you know who I think of?
What's that?
Ashland. What's
Okay.
Ashland doing?
She's killing it. She
Braves Ashland.
She still runs one of the most electric accounts on Twitter.
Monday Motivation's my favorite thing she does.
Yep.
Eat your veggies, drink your water, be nice to people, y'all.
She just posted a new one.
I got to get to it. I forgot it is Monday.
It's Monday.
Best show of the week.
Michael Harris, big game. There's a good clip going around the internet of him celebrating Ronald Acuna Jr.'s grand slam against the Dodgers in 2018 or 2019 because he was just a fan of the team. And
That's awesome.
God, the Braves have it all, man. Not
Giants. I thought I didn't know the Giants were this bad. I knew they were going poorly, but they've won 6 of their last 20 games, so 6-14 in that run. That's a tough time to have a skid like that. But again, similar to the Rangers, I think it's just kind of baseball, and you got to figure it out. Although they kind of got to get it going. I just read the standings, and they're 1.5 back. Okay.
Yeah. The best player that no one's talking about is Wilmer Flores.
Okay. Yeah.
896.
Fans always want you to mention him.
896 OPS this year. That's a masher, man.
Where's he at? Let's check this out. Let's talk some Wilmer Flores.
Talk about him.
Well, I'm trying to get on his page, but now my thing is
Trev, you're gonna hate his contract.
I'm going there right now. I wanted to see all this.
I was about to ask you some career earnings.
Crazy. Making 6.5 this year. On the books for 6.5 next year. And then there's a team option for 8.5.
You know what, though? This is what I'll say about that. I get it. People, obviously you don't want to give team option years, and you would like to capitalize every time that you have a career year. But what's to say without that security that he would have done this?
Right.
So
mental game. Strider, gross. Leading baseball in strikeouts by a ton. Trev, I think the final series that really deserves some juice in the NL. Brewers sweep the Padres. I'm not afraid to say it anymore. The Padres are dead. It's like we've kind of all known, but we were hoping that they had a Mariners type stretch in them because it feels like they could, but they run into the Brewers at the wrong time. Brewers W8 now. And Yeah, man. I don't know. The 5-run inning from the Brewers in the first game. I think they have a 7-run inning in the second or third game. Yeah, in the third game. That it's just. I mean, the vibes in San Diego, which is horribly ironic because it's maybe the U.S.'s #1 vibe city. The vibes in San Diego have to be horrendous.
It's a lot of this. Huh?
Yeah, a lot of
what
shrug.
happened? What's going on? I think you're right in calling him dead. I mean, I've really backed off calling teams dead until I need something to really happen. You know, I don't just declare teams dead because the record indicates. I need someone to come kill them. I think the Brewers kill the Padres. I do. And this is what happens when the Brewers offense gets hot. When Adames is hitting and you get Tellez hitting some homers and Contreras doing his thing. When the Brewers offense gets hot, I would love to see their record when they score more than 5 runs. I bet it's bangers. When this team can get a bunch of guys going offensively at the same time, like line it up, like they're a problem because they have the pitching and they have the defense and they can steal bases. They can do all the other things right. They're a very, very solid ball club when it comes to everything else. When they get guys together, performing at the same time offensively, this is what happens. This is not just the Brewers. I mean, they've been playing good ball for quite some time, and this isn't just because it's the Padres. They can beat anybody. And they are reliant on a Willy Adames. I did the Twins Brewers series, and I'd said that. I said this team, if Adames is hot, he can carry the offense, and it's crazy to think about that when they traded for him. Not a guy you would think of as going to carry their offense, but he can be and has been that guy for them at times. So, I think Milwaukee is getting closer to securing their playoff spot. And I mean, I don't think any team wants to face the Brewers in the playoffs. I just think that they have a recipe to beat any team at any given time.
I agree. 16-7 in August. And we've come a long way. They had an 18-9 April. Like what? That's mentally I lost that one, but yeah, and I probably have to give some slight apologies because I wasn't saying it in a complimentary way. They had a very Brewers deadline, but they're currently getting the dividends. Getting Canna involved where he is, like Chafin in the bullpen.
Canna and Santana, the last, during this streak they've gone on, have been really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, Santana's in the middle of their lineup. But yeah,
how about CeCe throwing out the first pitch? CeCe's like on a worldwide tour, bro. He's everywhere.
He's loving life.
This guy doesn't sleep.
He's loving life.
I think was that his first time back in Milwaukee? First time doing anything like that, obviously. But
I got to be honest, I watched the first pitch. Wasn't great.
Burns.
I've seen him throw better pitches.
Burns, Woodruff, Peralta. I wouldn't want my team season coming down to those 3 guys. Not to mention
Sal Frelick banging the ball all over the yard, making plays
like a young Vinny Rottino out there.
Willy Adames hot.
Yeah. And then Cardinals, Phils, Trev, if you want anything there, I'm going good team, bad team a little bit.
Absolute. They demolished the Cardinals. And hey, you just said I don't want to see Burns, Peralta, and Woodruff. Do you want to see Wheeler and Nola?
No. Nor that lineup.
Sanchez and that lineup. I know this is. I mean, dude, they outscored them 22-3 in a 3-game set.
It's a whooping, man.
That is a whooping.
And to close off the NL, and it's a small interleague, but hey, I tried to hit it a couple times this episode. Washington Nationals, I think it's the 5th best record since the All-Star break. I gave them a little bit of when they beat the Yankees, I said two bad teams, Nats win, whatever. And I shouldn't have said that. So thank you, Nationals fans. They now have the same record as the San Diego Padres. It's August 28th, a better record than the Mets. And yeah, Trev, who knows what it means? And I say that in the nicest way. Carter Kieboom is coming back and hitting balls. That's a prospect name from yesteryear. Maybe that means something. Playing fun baseball means something, and they're winning and having fun. So I'm very happy for the team and Nationals fans. I don't know what it means.
It means that this group of guys is playing together is, forming a nice nucleus or a bond in the clubhouse. They're winning series. They're understanding what it takes to win at the big league level. So you go into next year and say, shit, you guys remember what we did to close out the year? How well we played? Let's just start the year off like that and see where it goes. You got to learn to win at the big league level, and you got to learn to play together and figure all that out. How often have we talked about a team identity this year, or lack of a team identity? I think stuff like this, being able to play good baseball, creates that identity, creates the culture that you need, because that was a steep decline very quickly from them. 2019, They win the whole dang thing. They trade everybody away. Everybody's gone. Soto's gone. Turner's gone. Harper's gone. Strasburg just retired.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Scherzer's gone. Rendon's gone. Everybody's gone. So, it's good for them. And on the flip side, Miami has been absolutely struggling since the All-Star break. I think they're 13-25 or something since the All-Star break. Luis Ariz now hit 350. He's gone down big time, like a Led Zeppelin.
They got Tampa.
Freddie Freeman might win the NL batting title. And think about how much money would you have lost if you said Ariz is not going to win the batting title? I'll give you plus.
If you took the field.
Yeah, take the field.
The field would have been plus money.
Yeah. So
66 and 65. They're 3 games back of the wild card, minus 48 run differential, about to play Tampa. Oh.
And Miami made some moves. David Robertson has not been good for them. He's 0-3, 3 blown saves.
Bad contract?
Huh? What'd you say?
Out of the closer role.
Let's talk some interleague baseball. You know what? I'll save this for after. Let's do the IL. Mention this off the top. Dodgers, Sox. These two teams have been connected over the past couple years. Dodgers, they win game 1. Freddie Freeman, you mentioned him, 4-hit day at the office. Mac Muncy, a little thick, 3 RBI day. Sox,
Little thick.
they come back in game 2. They knock around Urias. Good for them. Justin Turner is a stud. So is Adam Duvall. And Alex Verdugo's leading off every game with a homer that leads to a rubber match. And super utility man Mookie Betts hits his homer over the monster. James Outman catches one too. Freddie's 3 hits, whatever. They take 2 out of 3. Yeah, that's kind of just what the Dodgers have been doing lately. But yeah, a lot of people liked all the reunions that were going on there. Angels played the Mets. My God. Kodai Senga continues his really good season, but he gets outdueled by Patrick Sandoval. Shohei Ohtani is hitting triples. He's stealing bases. He's breaking signs on home runs, all with a torn UCL, I guess. Freak. Mets, they win the final game. David Peterson, who's kind of turned the quarter for them. Alonso homers, and the news comes out that they're probably going to trade him this offseason. I don't know. What's that all about? Some juicy stuff out of Flushing. And Rockies, O's, all 1-run games. Baltimore, 5-4, 5-4 in those first 2. God, your guy Cole Swervin Irvin and Kyle Bradish, who's going to get Cy Young votes this year. I watched Gunnar Henderson hit a left-on-left home run in the final game, I think, and that scared me. So look out for that. Or maybe it wasn't the final game. I don't know. Good team, bad team a little bit. That's what happened in the IL. Go Kelsey. Bautista.
I don't have to do any standings because it's the interleague.
Correct.
What's up?
What do you got? I mean, we got Dodgers Sox here. You know, I saw Sox fans almost frustrated about how much people were talking about Mookie's back, Mookie's back, Mookie's back. But, I mean, that's going to happen when he comes back playing for the Dodgers. And, yeah, I think your boy Carrabba's kind of summed it up. He's like, hey, with the way the Red Sox are playing right now and the way the Dodgers are playing right now, yeah.
That's what Carrabba's had to say?
Yeah, analytics.
Now we're quoting Jared on this show?
Yeah, I like him.
I like him too. Could you beat him in an arm wrestling match?
No.
His guns are too big. Huh?
I'm a pretty big bad arm wrestler. Just general weakness or short arms.
Shoulder,
yeah.
Pop the shoulder
learn to
over. I watched that
leverage.
movie with Sylvester Stallone where he's a truck driver and wins that thing.
Yeah.
There's no spoilers.
Yeah.
No, I think it was cool to see Mookie go back. Why? What? We're not allowed to talk about a guy going back to where he won an MVP and won a World Series and all that. Like, of course, we're going to talk about that. They handled it perfectly. They gave him a standing ovation. Mookie showed out for them. I mean, it was obviously, you know, if you're the Red Sox, you don't want to lose games. You know, but it's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are on fire right now, and they're working through some things too with their rotation, man. This is the first time in a long time they really had to worry about that. But right now, I mean, who's their five? Like, who's their starting five right now? Urias has been getting banged up this year. I still believe in him because of a track record, and I think maybe when the lights come on in the playoffs, he's a different guy. But you got him, you got Kershaw, you got Bobby Miller, and you got Lance Lynn.
And our guy Gavin Stone, 6 innings,
Stone
4 runs.
coming up, Pepio's coming up. We got, you know, like Ferguson's made some some opens and stuff like that. Like they're searching for that. I know you don't need it in the playoffs necessarily, but you still got to get through the season. You don't want to wait. You don't want to crush the bullpen too much. So I guess I'm not worried about them, but I think Dodgers fans are a little bit. It's not a strong rotation right now. And that's what we always talk about on this show. One of the things we base how we feel about teams is the strength of your starting pitching. Now, that being said, the Dodgers are one of the best teams in baseball, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, let's caveat this a little bit. They're 21-4 in August, so
insane. I know. I'm pointing something out, and then they're saying, "Shut up, Coach Trev. It doesn't matter." Max Muncy, big thick, not little thick.
Yeah.
Gonna get the job done. Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts are. I'm going to talk about on baseball today. Have they gotten over Acuna for NL MVP? Probably.
Yeah.
Would you have? There was on MLB Network they were talking when Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, or Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Who would you rather have?
What is it?
Their question was a very Chris Rose question. Like one at bat or one like game to save your life, and you have to pick one of the duos to like do it. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, or Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna Jr. I think it's a no-brainer too. They said the same thing. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, they're gonna get the job done.
Freddie and Mookie, man. Freddie's the best hitter in baseball. Maybe
he's got 50 doubles.
Maybe Mookie's the best right hand. I don't know, man. Freddie's the best hitter in baseball, and Mookie might be the MVP right now. So I'll take them. Boston, big series with Houston coming up again. A team they are chasing for the wild card spot. So if they want to do something, be a good time for them. And just make sure the wheels don't come off the track. They're 4.5 back. They're one of the only like in between teams right now. But yeah, man. I mean, Verdugo with the leadoff homers, Justin Turner. It's like a reunion weekend.
Oh, the going back and forth between these two teams is a little fishy, to be honest with you.
Ooh, okay.
Little backdoor talks going on between front offices.
It's like you and me.
Yeah. You think they text in the invisible
in the invisible chat? I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friedman and Heim just like invisible ink text only.
Halos Mets Rockies, Baltimore. I guess we haven't talked about the big story out of Baltimore, the biggest story. A little bit good team beats bad team at the end there, and a little bit of bad teams in the middle. So I'll let you go wherever you want.
I don't want any part of Angels Mets. Shohei is still hitting and he's still raking. I think maybe that's his plan to just show people he can still hit and it doesn't matter. We haven't got any update. There actually was some stuff. I know I'm not really going to go into the gameplay here, but I want to clear up some stuff because I said last episode that Shohei's to blame for this. Shohei's side is to blame for this, and the Angels, they all have a part in it. But Perry Manazian, I always mess that guy's name up. He's like kind of come out and said, like, look, this wasn't our fault. Like he had the hand cramping, and they said, hey, let's go get a picture on your elbow. And apparently, this is according to Perry, Shohei's side said, no, we're good. Went out and made another start. Torn UCL. So he's trying to say, look, we've taken it easy. And then he said, I'm not giving any medical update. I'm going to let Shohei's side do that. So there's a lot of Angels fans have pointed this out all over, because there's a bunch of hot takes after Shohei got hurt. They've said, look, Shohei's dictates what he does. There was a time where the Angels had a very strict regimen for him, but then this last year, the last 2 years, it's been Shohei does what Shohei wants to do. And like they come up with everything. So, man, you kind of wish you would have got that picture on the elbow after the hand cramping, right? And wish you would have shut it down like I told you to shut it down.
But we're not talking about that. But yeah, his last 5 games, Shohei does have a 1.3 OPS going, so he'll just continue to do that.
Pete Alonso got hit in the head with a slider. It looked like it hurt. It's a little bench clearing thing here. But we don't need to talk about these two teams. I'm sorry, guys.
Rocks O's, do you have a statement on Bautista? They still haven't said how significant the UCL injury is. They haven't ruled him out for the year necessarily, but I don't know if that's just because they haven't gotten it scanned yet or what, but I know that's one of Chris Rose's topics today, and it is a big topic. If you looked at the Baltimore Orioles and said, what makes this team great, Cano and Bautista, I don't know if you start there, but maybe.
Yeah, that's been a big thing. If you can end games when you have the lead and preserve leads, it's massive. It's mountainous, if you will. And if he's out the rest of the season, it definitely puts a damper on things. I think they can get the job done still. Sure. I think Cano can do that. He keeps the ball in the yard, which is what you want. But it's a massive blow for them. Bottom line, I don't think there's any way around it, and I don't think he's going to pitch again this year. Really, how could you? Although everyone keeps saying like if it's just partially torn, guys continue to pitch on it, which is crazy to me. Think about having a tear in your elbow and be like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I wouldn't. That scares me so much, dude. Thinking about that.
Orioles fans.
Gunnar Henderson didn't follow me back on Instagram, which is kind of tough.
Orioles fans, let me know what you guys are thinking. If you had to take someone from the rotation in the playoffs and maybe put him in the back end of that bullpen, is it like Grayson Rodriguez? Could we see Jack Flaherty become the bad man on the back end? I don't know. Let me know what you guys are dreaming of, because if he's out, you need something. Jack Flaherty coming in to close games?
No, he's not doing that because he's got a free agency looming.
Dark Knight music kicks in.
We'll see, man. We'll see. The Orioles, they're going to start getting ready for the playoffs, and I know this is, puts a wrench in their plans a little bit. They're going to have to figure some things out, but they're going to start getting setting their rotation, finding what works and what doesn't work, in these series. So they put themselves in a really good position. If you lose your closer, sucks, but you put yourself in a spot where like you're going to make the playoffs.
Ty Block with a really nice start for the Rockies, and that was Talking Rocks. Trev, let's get into the second half of the show. It's brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. College football is here. How about that? Week 0 just happened. Week 1 is here. The Domers in Ireland. And they've got their can't-miss offer to start the season. $5 on any college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Life is more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TALKIN. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TALKIN. The crown is yours. Trev's USC got on the board last week.
San Jose State.
Standout performances.
Standout performance. I am going with a pitcher.
Whoa.
And he plays in Chicago.
Okay.
And he's from Mexico. And you know I love my Mexican ball players.
Yeah.
I do. I grew up playing against Mexican ball players. They're ball players is what they are. Grinders. They love the game. Need one on my fictional roster. So now it's Cuban ball players. It's veterans, a couple fast guys, one Jewish ball player, and one Mexican ball player. And we're going to run it. We're going to run it. Javier Assad. Do it, my guy. He's been so good for the Cubs. In this last outing, he goes 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. And this is a guy who was the long man in the Cubs bullpen for the majority of the year, going 3, going 4, going 2 1/3, like just picking up the slack, which is a very, very important role on a team. And it's a very tough role to do. Sometimes it can be in high leverage. Sometimes it's in 0 leverage whatsoever. And you got to be able to pitch in both of those situations and talk to relievers. They're going to tell you those are completely different types of pitching. Javier has been able to do it all. He got put into the rotation. He now started 6 games. So he had 18 games before that out of the pen. Now he started 6. He's got a 2.96 on the year. Now you mentioned earlier, Baseball Savant does not like his TrackMan numbers, his extension or his chase rate or his spin efficiency. It's not great. A lot of blue bubbles on the Baseball Savant page. But if I told you a guy could have 4+ pitches in run value, you'd like that. He's got a run value of 4 with his sinker, 9 with his cutter, 4 with his 4-seamer, and 1 with his slide ball. Like those 6 pitches over 5%. Got 4 with 20%. He's a guy that just moves the ball all over the place. I watched a few of his starts after choosing him for this standout. Everything moves, and it moves the whole way. And sometimes that's not good. Like when you just see the pitch, out of his hand moving. Like his curveball's big and slow. It doesn't throw very hard, but it just continues to move. It looks like it's hard to square up, man. And he's living on the peripherals, exactly what a guy with his stuff has to do. He's pitching. Jake, this guy's a pitcher, dude. And the numbers are spectacular. And if you're the Cubs and you have this season that they maybe can be magical, man. Like you're exceeding a lot of expectations. To have a season like that, you have to have guys like this step up.
Yeah, and
you
there was
Wicks come up, do his thing. Assad has stepped into the rotation and fortified after Stroman's went down. Hey, man, you got to love a story like this. So shout out Javier Assad.
And yeah, I know the Cubs fans are having a lot of fun. Mark Leiter on August 5th said, he's like, I think he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And I think everyone was kind of like, okay, teammates, hyping his guy. And Javier Assad's been awesome. So, hey, good for him. Good for Mark Leiter Jr. I
know his one red bubble?
What's his one red bubble?
He's 80th percentile in average exit velo. I mean, you're just not squaring it up, guys.
And don't you and Mark Leiter Jr. have a connection?
My last professional homer was off him in spring training. He was with the Blue Jays. The Phillies told me to swing more in plus positive counts. It was a 2-1 count specifically. They told me to swing in more. I got to 2-1 against Mark Leiter and said, I'm fucking swinging no matter what. Hit a homer.
Look at that.
So go Phillies analytical team. Thank you. Should have told me that before.
Trev, great standout. I'm going with one of my favorite players. I think the word threat is always with this player, but it kind of wasn't as of a couple weeks ago. Teoscar Hernandez. On Saturday, he had a 2-homer, 6 RBI game. A lot of Mariners did. They put up a big boy number that day. But I want to talk about the importance of Teoscar Hernandez, who they traded for before the season, to be a threat in that lineup, because that's all he's been in his career, around an 800 OPS guy. This is his contract year. That's why they got him. As of August 14th, that's 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Teoscar Hernandez, 242, 290, a 698 OPS. That's not Teoscar Hernandez. It's not. Over those past 2 weeks, 12 games. By the way, the Mariners are 11-1 in these games. Teoscar Hernandez, 434, 456 on base, a 1.286 OPS. He has gotten his numbers up to 262 batting average, a 307 on base, and a 759 OPS. He's a career 808 OPS, 119 OPS plus. He's up to 110 OPS plus. It looks like he's getting going. And he was a part, if the Mariners were going to be the threat and the Mariners that I think everyone is seeing now, he's a big part of that. And I think he has been. And I'm just happy for a guy in a contract year that if he trickled into the finish line, we've talked about it ad nauseum that you only get kind of that one big shot to break the bank. I like him. This guy gives me righty Eddie Rosario vibes.
I think he's a little bit more consistent.
A little more of a slug. A little more of a slug than Eddie, but yeah.
I love Eddie Rosario.
I know.
Shout out Eddie Rosario. What do you call him? Cat scratch fever?
You need two of these guys on your team that just want to hit. Like, sure, the on base is going to be a little lower, but he's out here to mash the ball.
I have to imagine the Mariners going on the streak they've gone on has coincided with him getting hot. Am I right? Because I mentioned that before they got hot, I said, look, they got a guy, Teoscar Hernandez, that if he starts to go and Julio continues, like he was getting hot at this time, if Teoscar can step in and be that home run threat, hitting those 3-run homers, driving in runs and hitting extra base hits, like that's exactly what this Mariners team needs. And he showed up, man.
Yeah.
I like Teoscar a lot.
Man, coming into this year, Teoscar, his last 3 years have been there's not a lot of guys that can go toe-to-toe with him. And I'm glad he's right in the ship because he's a guy in free agency that could get a number. I'm double-check that he's a free agency, but that's why they got him, right? Yeah.
Believe they got him as an expiring guy, yeah. His savant, like kind of what you'd think. Strikes out a little too much, doesn't walk quite enough, but everything else is a pretty deep red.
Who cares?
Doing everything else right, we live with that.
We didn't talk about Jonah Doan. Stand-up performance. We didn't talk about Sonny Gray.
No.
A lot of options. Davis Schneider, you mentioned him a little bit, 3 for 3 with a double, a homer, 3 ribbies. Alex Bregman doing this thing. Rowdy Tellez doing this thing. A lot of good ball being played here. But it's time to move on. Hit it, Beebs.
Woo. Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
In the series, how about a Yankee? It's been a long time since a Yankee not named Aaron Judge has been in Fuego. I'll venture out to say that I don't think one has been here. DJ LeMahieu goes 6 for 12 in the series, 3 homers, all solo shots. Ouch. It was a 7th multi-homer game on Friday. His first since May 5th, 2021. You mentioned this guy, Espresso Martini. Had one last night. Nick Martini for Cincinnati, 5 for 11, a double, 2 homers. He only finished 2 games. What? I don't know, something weird in Dalton's sheet, but It was his first homer since 2019.
Yeah.
So you love to see him get back on the board. Another blast from the past year, Ramon Laureano. This is a great in Fuego.
Yeah.
5 for 11, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 6 ribbies. He has an 807 OPS and 9 RBI over 16 games with Cleveland after he was DFA'd by Oakland. So that's nice. Nice little pickup for Cleveland. It's a very Cleveland move for the week of August 21st through August 27th. Speaking of blasts from the past, we were talking a lot about this guy in the first half. Elias Diaz, 9 for 18,
Yeah.
2 doubles, a homer, 7 ribbies for a 1.2 over that week. How about Josh Rojas coming to Seattle doing things? 10 for 24, a double, 2 homers, 6 RBI, 2 walks, 8 runs scored. He hit his third homer since being acquired by Seattle on July 31st. He did not hit a homer in 59 games with Arizona earlier in the season. Something in the water up there in Seattle. How about Peter Fairbanks? 3 games over the week, 2 saves, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks in those 3 innings. He's nasty. And then this is the one you want to be on for the 2 weeks, August 14th through August 27th. We just talked about both of these guys. How is that possible?
Oops.
Should have read the sheet. Teoscar Hernandez, 23 for 54 over the last 2 weeks. That's a 426 average. 6 doubles, 5 homers, 16 ribbies. I swear we didn't look at the sheet when we picked our standout performers. We should have. Because the next guy is Chicago Cubs starting pitcher Javier Assad. 18 and a third innings pitched in 3 games, 12 hits, 5 earned runs. That's a 2.45 ERA with a 0.98 whip. He's allowed 2 earned runs or less in every appearance in August. He's dropped his ERA from 3.35 to 2.96 in that span. Another blast in the past. Trevor Miguel in Milwaukee, thriving. 6 games pitched in those 2 weeks, 7 and a third innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 13 Ks. He hasn't allowed an earned run in August, dropped his ERA from 5.09 to 3.6 on the season. That's going to get it done. And that, my friends, is who's in Fuego.
Common Brew Crew bullpen success. Great job, Trev. Placed on the IL.
Oh,
Michael Conforto for the Giants. Didn't know about that. Don't love that. My friend Jake Cronenworth for San Diego, maybe he's the final tombstone. Felix Bautista we talked about. And how about this? Full circle. Eric Swanson for Toronto, who was traded for Teoscar. He goes on the IL, returning from the IL. I mentioned your guy Shags for Miami. Nolan Gorman for St. Louis. Joe Ryan. Does he get the playoff start? Zach Davies for the Snakes as they're in their rotation. Your boy Ben Lively coming out 5 out of the pen. Whoops. And Mark Vientos for the Mets as they try to get any hope going towards next year. Let's start the week.
Awards!
shout out Kels. Shout out Casey. Have some kids. Let's go.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Love that. My award is going to be called it's Tolkien baseball, but I don't really have a good name for it. So I'm just going to get into it. Bilbo Baggins, he has his 111th birthday party. He's setting it up. He doesn't really want to do it, but he's got to. He owes it to the Shire to do this. He wants to have basically a farewell, although nobody else at the party knows that except for him. So he invites everyone. The whole town's there. And one of the guests that comes in, who doesn't live in the Shire, obviously is Gandalf.
Right.
So Gandalf has his wagon, comes in, and they have this big party. And during the party, Gandalf is, they're lighting fireworks and he's doing his magic and having fun with the kids. And Bilbo, gives his speech, and there's all of those things. In the end, it was really only Bilbo and Gandalf at that party. You ever go to a party and it's like you and I go to a party, right? And you have to talk to other people, but it's really about you and I there. I want to get a hold of you. You want to get a hold of me. And we need to have some time. Everybody else is kind of like secondary to this. Like things are going on. We're having fun with everybody, but they're secondary. Bilbo and Gandalf are going to have the conversation they need to have. That's why Gandalf is out there. You and I at these parties, we're going to get FaceTime together eventually. We might have to shake some hands and kiss some babies somewhere else, but eventually it's going to come down mano, you and I, right?
Right.
We're going to look each other in the eye. We're going to have a drink. We're going to maybe wrestle a little bit. It's going to come down. This is the mano Talking Baseball Award, okay? Eventually it gets to the two that it needs to get to. Justin Verlander went back to Detroit. Who does he have to face? Well, it's Miguel Cabrera, a guy he was teammates with from 2008 to 2017 with the Tigers. I didn't even think that was right. I had to check. That's a long time playing together. So was there a baseball game played? And there other people involved? Sure. But what this game was all about was Gandalf, who would be Verlander in this situation, and Bilbo, who's riding off into the sunset like Miguel Cabrera is. They got their FaceTime together. They got mano. They gave the hat tip. And I think a lot of people talked about this, and I feel like they were giving it its due justice because you really have to think about who we're talking about here. We're talking about, I don't know, is Justin Verlander the best right-hander of our generation? Is Miguel Cabrera one of the best right-handed hitters of our generation? Yeah. Like, we're talking about surefire Hall of Fame dudes who were teammates who went through a lot in Detroit together, locking horns. Two stags going at it. They're a little older. But they're sure as shit. Two alphas out there going mano. And I want to read this little excerpt from an MLB.com article, just highlighting their achievements that they accomplished together. It was a matchup of a kind that's not often seen. Teammates with the Tigers from 2008 to 2017. Verlander brought his 253 wins, 3 Cy Young awards, his pitching triple crown, and MVP award to the mound against Cabrera's 509. He got to 510 homers, 3,150 hits, 2 MVPs, an offensive triple crown, and a 307 career batting average. The pair has a combined age of 80 years and 319 days and a combined B-WAR of 147.5. Together, they played 39 seasons and made 21 All-Star games. This is a matchup for the ages. Now, in his career, Cabrera's 0 for 5 against Verlander, so Verlander has that on him. But these are just... It was a moment that needs to be appreciated. I had to give this my award. I did get to see these guys play up close and personal. It was tough. I saw them in their primes. It was incredible what these two mean to the game of baseball. So I wanted to give the award. And I talked about this. Was it on the show or before the show? I said, what do you think the combined career earnings of these two are? I had Beavers look it up. You and I are going to guess it now. Then we'll move on to your award.
I mean, so
there's a number that they're due to in total get, and there's a number that is earned through the end of this year.
Oh, we want due. Because Verlander still has
numbers.
another 40, right?
What these guys
I think
will
more than that.
end up
More than
getting.
Combined. I'll go first.
You go.
I think we're looking at a combined $585 million.
I'm going 700.
You're both pretty under. 822.
I wanted to go higher, but I thought Miggy what'd you just say?
822.
Give me the
by the end of Verlander's current deal, there's a third year. It's a 2 for 86 and a third year option for another 17.5. So in total, he will be 429. and Miggy due for $8 million after this year, one way or another. That's $393 on his own.
It's a country's gross domestic product. Like,
I was thinking 300 for Verlander, 250 for Miggy, and I was wrong. Very wrong.
and I mean, if we cook the books this year and Miggy Cabs wins MVP, he gets another $60 million. So I don't know, voters.
We've got some friends in the media.
Just screw the Tigers ownership.
Yeah, Miggy's deal was an 8 for $248. That's like the contract. But
And then
I
he
think
had before, okay.
did well for himself before.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought it up, Trev. I mean, these are two legends. These are two
Absolute
legends.
legends.
And yeah, I can't believe how much time they spent together. That is a really interesting point.
It's a big number.
I talked to Joe's on the phone a little bit yesterday, and we were jokingly saying, like, each spring training, these two, kind of like you said, I said each spring training, these two threw like the cool party. They were kind of the two dudes that stood like this is our team. And then we joked that they didn't talk to each other during the year.
Yeah.
But
My question to you was going to be, how many times do you think they've been out to dinner together?
it's a
Just
great
themselves.
question. It's either like unlimited or it's like 7, right? Like, I don't
think
know.
It might be 0. I think it might be 0.
I don't know.
I'm not saying like they're not friends. I'm just saying like
Right.
that doesn't seem like a likely pairing, bro.
You're you, I'm me. I don't know. I would love to know the answer. I'm sure they've had a few good times together.
Wives get involved.
To be a couple alphas like that. And Trev, just it was one of my favorite moments when you mentioned, couple alphas linking up, you and me at a Hollywood party.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah. When Judge broke the home run record, there was a moment after they do everything and, it waves and the crowd and everything. And then the game starts again. And it's Judge and Stanton in the back of the dugout, just kind of like, not bad, huh?
Was Roger Maris's son there?
He sure was.
He was there.
Him and
Right next to Mrs. Judge.
no comment. Trev, great award. I'm going to give out something I've given out a few times before. I'm giving out the Freak on a Leash award.
Corn?
Corn. I'm a big
With a
corn.
K.
I'm a big corn guy. And this one's a little bit of a tribute to our guy Dalton, who puts the sheet together for us, and my snakes, who have, they've welcomed me in with open arms, and I'm planning on watching a lot of snake baseball the rest of the way. You guys are listening to Talking Baseball. You know who Corbin Carroll is right now, right? Like, he's the fast guy on the Diamondbacks. He's really good. Jake talks about the pop off his bat. Yeah. Corbin Carroll is technically a rookie this year, and he just crossed the 20 homer, 40 steals number in his rookie season. And Trev, after I finish this, I can let you talk about how insane that is. But the one stat, because I love to butter knife a good stat, and again, credit to Dalton for laying this one out. Since 1977, the game's changed a little bit since 77. I think that might be fair to say. Since 1977, there has only been one rookie until Corbin Carroll that put up a 20-40 season. Do you know who that is?
Since 1977, a 20-40 season in their rookie year.
Yep.
Ichiro.
It's a good guess. I don't think he had the 20. The answer is Mike Trout, the guy that until he had a new teammate, we considered him our best baseball player. And Corbin Carroll just matched that. So there's obviously some biased snake love for how much they've been cool to me. But Corbin Carroll, I feel like we were reminding people a lot early on. Like it was him and Acuna who got out of the gate crazy good, and this guy's special, blah, blah, blah. This guy's very special. Since 1977, if there's two guys on the list and it's you and Mike Trout, it's a pretty special list. So Corbin Carroll, freak. Absolute freak.
Does he get on a leash? Do you know that about him?
I don't know. Seattle guy? Is that where Corn's from? Who knows?
I could see him getting to some dark places. I think everyone in Seattle's got a little bit of a
From
dark place they
Bakersfield.
go to every once in a while. I could see that at Corbin as well. You know what? He's got big shoulders.
Power.
I stood next to him. He's not tall. He's also not short, but big shoulders.
Mighty.
Kind of reminds me of you.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. No, Corbin's it's a treat to watch him play. And he would have been a stud no matter what, but with these new rule changes, we're
Whew.
appreciating speed more in the game. And dude, I saw Pass. This is going nice award.
Thank you.
Before we leave, Pass and put out a tweet. Shout out King Jeff, my guy. We're like buddies now. He
your
put out a
bag's doing
tweet that for the first time when a full slate of games has been played, there was not one pitch clock violation. So we finally got there. And he mentioned attendance up. He mentioned the games being shorter. And he mentioned how this shit has been a success. And we got to give Rob Manfred his fucking praise, man. You hear that, Bobby?
Yeah.
Can I be on your commissioner's program list now? I'm the most influential guy in baseball. I just gave you your flowers. What's up?
Yeah, I did have a weird moment this weekend where I was watching baseball games and I was like, wait, like the pitches come through PitchCom and there's a pitch clock now? I was like, damn. Shit moved fast, huh?
It did. I still don't understand PitchCom, but
Nobody does.
pitchers love it.
Trev,
I want to mess around with one.
enjoy your week. We will see everyone back here for the mid-week. It's going to be September soon, man. August 28th. I suck. Sucks.
Padres are dead. Holy shit.
Dead.
It's about time we did it.
Dead.
Like them, but sorry.